Hello, my name is Solan, and this is my TED Talk titled The Jesuits. What I am not about to do is preach to you about my victories, simply because I don't really have enough to do so yet. Nor can I tell you about my failures, simply because I haven't learned enough from them to fill up a paper's worth. However, what I can tell you about is something far more complicated than either classification. What I can talk about is simply a perspective. But first, I need to give some context. When I was a young boy, my grandfather would tell me about the Jesuit people. He gave me a brief background, stating that they are a fraction of Christianity. But it was not a religious lecture that was to come of this converse. It was rather something far more important. He told me that the Jesuit people are so confident in their beliefs. They welcome anyone to challenge their beliefs and will civilly engage and defend their beliefs no matter the adversary. I found this incredibly interesting, and I admired the concept of it, as well as the absolute bravery behind it. My grandfather encouraged me to become like the Jesuits, to have an open mind and experiment with every ideology and their histories before I choose if I should neglect them. Not just the ideals that appeal to me, nor the ideas that seem like a simple cop-out. I took his advice to heart. However, it is no simple task. It's nearly impossible for any one human to do so. Yet I keep trying. I have yet to perfect this practice. I am only human. But to make a concerted effort to try and understand all sides of an issue, while neglecting none, is something honorable. What this has also taught me was to challenge any opposing ideas. Not to simply prove that I am right, but to research them and understand them before moving forward with the conclusion. Nobody does this well, and it will take me a long time before I'm remotely good at it. But nevertheless, it is very important to make a concerted effort to try. Today, sadly, this practice is becoming harder and harder to fulfill, with primitive ideologies like cancel culture and Capitol storming gaining popularity. It is retarding civil discourse and dividing people further. Arguments and political disagreements are no longer about logical, civil discourse, but rather the childish and destructive conclusion of who can shout the loudest and drown the opposition out. Only then, when all opposition is destroyed, is victory considered achieved. However, I implore you to view a different alternative. Rather than silencing our opposition, we should view their arguments, take their points into consideration, and through systematically shutting down the opposition with logic and facts, we can achieve a more civil discourse and preserve peace and diplomacy throughout our nation, just as the Jesuits have done for centuries. Should we continue this practice of shouting louder than our opposition, more violence is assured to ensue. We find ourselves at a crossroads, and I'm unsure if our path has already been chosen for us. However, it is never too late to change into a more civilized direction. With the influence of social media and a newfound information age, regardless of truth, has created a safe haven for people of different factions. With these safe havens, it has provided people with the misconception that their information is more trustworthy than an alternative, leaving conspirators to conspire and people to remain in their own information bubbles and attack anyone who dares threaten that paradise with alternative information or fact. If you take nothing from my rambling today, take this. Do your own research, not just the information that appeals to you, but look at that which doesn't. Research the information that brings disdain or embarrassment and try to understand their views as well. We live in a time where the secrets of the world exist within the touch of our fingertips. So I implore you to practice like the Jesuits and use them for good and to further a more diplomatic and democratic future. And most importantly, try to understand where the opposition is coming from. Understand their histories and their struggles. You might even change your mind. Thank you.